What's up, Raider Nation? This is Chef Mike. I'm back with our last show of the year. So Merry Christmas. Everybody out there is making tamales this time of year. So I'm going to show you a quick, easy way how to make them in the Instant Pot. And we're going to make this so much easier than people think. I get so many people that call me and they're like, hey, how do you make tamales? I'm like, well, there's a long process and there's a shorter process. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna make it so easy for you guys that anybody can make it. This is gonna make 24 of them, so this is 2 dozen. So I know a lot of people have more family and most people eat more than 2 dozen in the sitting, but 2 dozen is a great amount for a small family. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. First thing I'm gonna do is I got my bone-in pork shoulder. We're gonna get this guy out. We're gonna cut it up into smaller pieces so that way it cooks faster. So what I'm gonna do here is I got the bone in. I like the bone in shoulder roast just simply because the bone for some reason gives it a lot more flavor. But we wanna make this smaller, so we're just gonna take it. It doesn't have to be equal cuts, but I just wanna cut it down so that way it's gonna cook faster. I already got my pre-oiled Instant Pot ready to rock. So we're gonna put this in here. And we're just gonna cut it up. Like I said, just cut around the bone. The bone's gonna go in there too, but that's fine. Right. And these roasts are very inexpensive. That's what's nice about them. So you can feed a lot of people for a very inexpensive. This was only like 12 bucks. So very inexpensive meal, but very tasty. All right. Cut this guy down. This is just gonna help it cook faster. We want this meat to be shreddable, so once we put it inside the tamales, it's just gonna fall apart. All right. That's pretty good. There's a little bit more around this bone. Perfect. Throw all this in here. Bone and all. All right, perfect. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna season it up. So I got a little bit of, I got 1 tablespoon of each. Chef Mike's lemon pepper, garlic, granulated garlic, and a little bit of caldo de pollo. So there's 4 tablespoons in this total. So we're just gonna go ahead and toss this in here. And then we're gonna add 2 cloves of garlic. These don't have to be all special cut or anything like that because literally these are going in. So I'm just gonna smash them and throw them in. Just like that. And then we got 32 ounces of chicken broth. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with this. This is what's gonna make the actual broth and everything for our tamale mixture for our masa. So you want this broth in here. Gonna give it all that flavor. Perfect. All right, so now we're gonna close this up. We're gonna go for 1 hour on this, guys, so that way it actually breaks down, cuts all the meat, and then we're gonna come in with some chili. We're gonna cook some chilies up. We're gonna put the broth in there, let it finish cooking, and then we're back to making the masa. So we'll be right back here shortly.
Are you looking for a new dish to make? Or maybe you wanna try a new approach to your favorite meals? Then we invite you to subscribe to Chef Mike's YouTube channel. With dozens of videos to choose from, there's a dish for everyone. Subscribe today and hit the notification bell for new updates.
All right, guys, we're back. We're gonna actually make some chili now. So we're gonna actually go to this pot. We're gonna go in here with 5 cups of chicken broth. This pot's actually pretty cool because it actually tells me how many cups I'm putting in there. You see that right there? All right, cool. Then we're gonna go in with 3 of each chilies. And I took the seeds out and took the stems off. We have Guajillo, we have New Mexico, and we have California chilies. So it's all gonna go in. Turn this bad boy on. And then we're gonna go in with 1 clove of garlic. And I also got 1 tablespoon of caldo de pollo. All right, so when this is all done, we're gonna go ahead and make our masa. We're gonna add about 2.5 cups of this chili mixture into our pot and actually cook the pork with the chili in it. And then we're gonna use the rest of it to put in our masa so we give that masa the great flavor. So we'll be back here shortly, guys. All right, guys, here we are. We're gonna go ahead and blend up our chilies. One thing I always told you guys, every time you're blending something hot, make sure you put a towel over the top. You don't want to burn yourself. So we're gonna go pulse first. And we'll let it blend. All right, so as you can see, we're at the 5-cup mark, exactly where we were at before. I'm gonna put 2.5 cups of this, and I'm gonna reserve some for the masa. So we'll be right back. Our meat's almost done, actually. So we're gonna put this in here. We're gonna strain it, make sure we get all the seeds and the skin and all that stuff out of it. You just heard the beep, we're ready to rock. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. She is ready. Looks beautiful. So now we're gonna go on with some chili. Set about half of this. A little bit more. Perfect. Strain all this in here. We're gonna close it back up, and then we're gonna go for 1 more hour with the chili in it. And at this point, I want to add one more ingredient. So let that kind of come down. I'm going with some cumin seed. It's something my grandma always put in hers. It's amazing. You can ground it up. I like them whole because they're going to cook anyways. So we're going to go ahead and stir these in here. Oh, it smells so delicious. And this is going to be some amazing broth for our actual tamales. So you see it's already almost falling apart. We want this to completely come apart. So we're going to go ahead and shut this lid and go for 1 more hour. And we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. Meat's done. About 2 hours, like I said, we got it all nice and cooled down a little bit because we're going to make our masa now. So I got 5 cups of masa in here. We're going to go with 1/2 pound of manteca. And this kind of varies a little bit because you can actually tell when it's done. Once you put the actual manteca in there, when you start mixing this up, you want to feel it kind of separate from your hand. You don't want it to stick to your hand. So we're going to go ahead and mix this up really good. And then we're going to use the juices from the actual pork to actually flavor this. And we also got the chili mix too. So we're going to do that first. And then we're going to go ahead and start going with some of our chili mix in here because we want to get this kind of mixed in there pretty good. I also have a 1.5 tablespoons of salt, and I have a 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder that we're going to add to this as well. So we got that right here. Go ahead and put that in here. I like to wear gloves with this because it is a messy project, but you want to knead this in as much as you can by hand. You can use a mixer if you have one, but I like using this method because you get to feel what it feels like and see if it's ready or not, because you might have to add a little bit more manteca if you don't have any, if you don't have the right consistency, I should say. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up really good. Perfect. Now we're gonna go in with the chili. Got my strainer here ready. So this is about 2.5 cups of the chili mix. So I just want to strain it and make sure I'm not getting any of those chili seeds in there. And this is already cooled down, so it's not going to burn my hands. But this is where a lot of flavor is. Actually, I got the lid right here. Just want to mix this all nice in here. Get all of it strained, not waste any of this. Perfect. Right, I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Get all this incorporated. Then we're gonna go in with about, let's say 4 to 5 cups of the actual broth from the pork. So I have my cup here. Just gonna go ahead and get some of this broth in here. Mix this around. This is where all that flavor is coming from, is the actual pork. So we're gonna mix this up. I'm gonna add a couple more cups to this and we'll be back here shortly and show you how to assemble these guys.
Are you looking for a new dish to make? Or maybe want to try a new approach to your favorite meals? Then we invite you to subscribe to Chef Mike's YouTube channel. With dozens of videos to choose from, there's a dish for everyone. Subscribe today and hit the notification bell for new updates.
Welcome back, guys. We have everything ready to go. We have our corn husk here that's been soaking for about a half hour. We have our meat pulled, ready to go. Our masa is good to go. We also got our Instant Pot loaded with a little bit of water because we're gonna steam. I got a little foil here to catch all the juices and everything that's gonna go down. We also got our press. So what we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna use this press to actually put the corn husk in and evenly disperse the masa so you don't have to sit there with a spoon and spread it out. So we're gonna make it a little bit easier. So for those people that don't like making these, they're actually pretty easy to do. So we're gonna make these up for you guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna put our husk down and we're gonna get this masa. We're gonna put it right in here, like so. Put this down. And you're just gonna light press. You'll see how that comes all the way down. Makes it nice and even, which is a lot easier to do. So now you got your masa spread out perfectly right there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some of this meat. I don't know about you, but I like mine fat. So I'll throw a little extra meat in this one. Then we're gonna roll. Just grab right here, roll. And pinch the bottom off, just like so. You got a nice, evenly dispersed tamale. These are gonna be perfect. So what we wanna do is we wanna stack these up in here. And this is an 8-quart Instant Pot, so this is gonna hold 24 of these guys. So once we get these all lined up here, I'm not gonna bore you by making all these in a row, but we're gonna go ahead and get these all lined up here and I'll show you how it looks when we get it ready to go into the steam part. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so we got 24 of these tamales in here, so 2 dozen, ready to go. Our water's in there. We're gonna go ahead and shut the lid on the Instant Pot. We're gonna set it on steam. So we got steam going. We're gonna push start. It's gonna go ahead and preheat. We're gonna let this go for about 30 minutes because that's what the timer's set at, but then we're gonna add an additional 10 minutes, then we're gonna leave the lid shut and let it steam out for about 10 to 15 minutes, and they should be perfectly ready to go. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. Tamales are done. Everything's perfect the way I want it. I want it to pull apart, so I want you to kind of take a look at this. So whenever you make tamales, you want the masa to come right off the husk like that. That's exactly what you want. Just like that. It's always my favorite, so I like to put some of that down there right there. So favorite hot sauce, whatever you guys like. I don't know, today I chose one out of my many of arsenals. This is a jalapeno sauce. This is actually very delicious. It's an organic one. Just gonna put some of this on here. Perfect. Let's go ahead and give this a taste. We got perfect bite. This is what I want. I want it to snap like that. That looks delicious. Oh my goodness. That is probably my best tamale ever. So, sorry, that was delicious. Thank you guys for subscribing. Anybody out there that wants to know how to make tamales, these are super easy to make. Follow, hit subscribe, tell your friends, shoot it out to everybody. This is our last show of the year, so Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for following us, and thank you for Izzy, everybody that's been involved in all this. My brother, Teddy, anybody that's been out there, everyone has been on our shows. I appreciate you guys. We're gonna come out harder next year, so see you guys next time. Coming out in 2023, guys. Chef Mike's seasoning is gonna be out. Hit us up, you want some of this, because we're gonna be blasting this out this year.